Hey paper crafters, thank you so much for joining me today. I love that you took the time to pop by my channel, check out the video that I've got going, and hopefully stay and poke around a little bit. I'm really excited to be able to offer some videos now and then and share my love of paper crafting. So I hope you find something that you enjoy and come back to see me another time. Bye-bye. Hey paper crafting friends, thank you for joining me today. I figured it was time for another video using this Zodiac Paper Stack. I've pulled some papers, so I'll show you those so you can see the palette that I'll be using today, and then we'll get busy getting a design going. So way back when I separated out this paper stack on an earlier video, these are the pages that I went ahead and put together. So I've got this dark gray that's got a lot of really beautiful script on it. Talks a lot about I love you to the moon and back, choose to shine, twinkle twinkle, starlight, star bright, things like that. So it's just got this really sweet message on it. This one says today's wishes. And then this one would just be kind of a blank journaling card with some of the design on it. I also had taken the one holographic sheet that was in the paper stack and I cut that into 4 3-inch strips so that I could use it on each one of the layouts just as an accent. And I've got more of like a galaxy kind of a piece. This one's just a dark gray with a white pattern on it. And then I would say this is a little bit more on the periwinkle side. And then I'm thinking that I'm going to use this light purple, which is just a close to my heart background page that I'm going to use. So I am going to lay the templates out on this, and then we'll see kind of how that all comes together. All right, so this is the basic idea that I've got in mind for this layout. I went ahead and pulled in Jason Lane 2A and 2B for my borders across the top, okay? And I really wanted to pull in some templates that had that similar feel as far as the curves and the points. So this banners template, banners 2, definitely mimics that feel from Jason Lane. And I thought this would be a really fun place to anchor a couple of photos. So I really enjoy this with either 4x4s or 3x4s on it. In this case, this border's pretty thick at this point, so I've really got room for 2 of the 3x4s. So I thought one of them I might actually make this journaling card. This one could really go either direction. So depending on where I want that little bling of the holograph, would decide kind of which way this is going to go, or upper or lower. Let's see. I also echoed that feel with a couple of tags. So I pulled out tiny tags, 6T and 7T, and I was thinking I would just tuck them underneath these photo mats just to pop out and give just a little hint of that design. I may use the same one in both places. So I may use this one that's got the point on it, but I really like to lay things out so that I can see the general idea of the design. The other thing, I pulled in some of these stars. I told you the words on that paper really just echo that idea over and over again. Of the twinkle twinkle little star, all of that. So I wanted to do this in a way that I can carry that theme of the stars across. So I'm thinking that this one, this little enchanted star, it'll fit on this holographic paper, okay? So although it would be fun to have some different sizes of stars, I really like the idea of being able to do that little holographic accent. So I may do all 3 of the stars the same as this, so that I can do them all with that holographic and have that pop throughout the layout. As far as the paper with the words, what I'm thinking is that I will probably use this to do this Jason Lane border up here at the top. So the only issue with doing that is it's going to end up, if I cut it in a traditional way, the words would end up upside down on one side. So let's just take a quick peek at that. Obviously, I want the words going the right direction. So what I'm going to end up doing is using this as close up to the top as I can and paying attention to the directionality of that text. Obviously, normally with a border, I would line this one up, right, for the sake of saving paper, but that would make my words upside down. So I'm just going to need to, be aware of that. I don't want to position it way down here, teeny tiny, but I will probably move it up just a bit so that I'll end up with a nice piece left here and a nice piece left here that I could use on another layout. So just kind of a thought as you are designing with your templates and thinking about when you're tracing them, you want to really watch the directionality on your paper and keep that in mind. I did pick this paper for those templates, even though I knew I was going to run into that problem, because I love that you're going to get large chunks of all of this great text. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing some trimming and making some paper choices, and then I'll pop back on and show you how that's coming together. This was a fun one to play with. I'm really excited to show you kind of how those colors all turned out and how that came together. I wanted to look real quick too. I think, let me just double check. Yeah, so the paper that I ended up using for this one was a wisteria. So you could really go either way with this. I'm sitting here looking at this darker color thinking, ooh, I bet that would look great also. So I may try it both ways after I'm done and see. I had originally just laid it with the lighter side up, and now I'm looking at that thinking, So maybe I'll show you both ways real quick. But I ended up picking kind of this galaxy paper for that banner template. And then I already showed you what I wanted to do for the border across the top, because I really wanted those words running all the way across, and I didn't want them, interrupted by photos and things like that. I wanted that to show all of those words. So I ended up cutting just a couple of 1/2-inch strips just as a little pop at the top. And that's out of that kind of periwinkle paper that has a slight pattern to it. And then let's take a look at the photo mats. I picked the deep gray that has a white design on it for these. And I ended up doing almost all of the photo mats that color, okay? Then if you remember over here, I had this journaling mat and then a photo. So I'm going to go ahead and use some more of that periwinkle color that was up here, kind of carry that across. And then in place of a photo here, I had this card. It says today's wishes. Okay, but I just want to remind you that you can do this, any layout, however you want. If you don't want to use one of the journaling cards, you could easily put a photo mat there. There was plenty of that other background paper. You could use that photo mat. I even could have done these ones the same, but it was just getting to be too much of that dark gray. And so I really wanted to pull in that periwinkle, and I love how that color looks on top of that galaxy paper. So just kind of keeping that in mind. I am going to use this because I liked the way it carried that galaxy paper across, and it looked good just as a mat for that today's wishes. I also did 2 of the little tags. And I just cut the top of the tag. I knew I was going to be tucking it. I just wanted that little pop of color. So I didn't even cut the whole thing. I just cut a little bit so that I could have that pop. And then I made a few of these stars. I did make them all from the Enchanted One template so that I would have the ability to make them all with that holographic paper. So, and I love those. I just think that's just a fun pop on there. I may, when I put it together, add, you know, a couple of dots of stickles, or maybe a little star, you know, some little stars around it, something like that, maybe sequins. So I'll find something to just do a couple of things around those stars. But I really do like how that turned out. I do want to see what it looks like on that other paper. So on the flip side, so if you want to watch long enough to see, I'm going to do it real quick. So here we go. I don't know, I'm gonna have to look at that a little bit more carefully and decide for sure which way I'm gonna adhere it down. But hopefully just this idea today got you thinking, and if you've got this Zodiac paper stack, I hope you pull it out and get busy creating. It's just so much fun to play with all these different papers and make something pretty. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think of this one, and I hope that I see you on my channel again real soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.